all. This is Dr. Mobeen Sayed, and you are in the KoolBeens Cafe. So this is our own cafe, and we are all here having our coffee. So there's a good comment from MGW. KoolBeens Cafe Live. Can you and Paul Borg do another stats show and include current unvaccinated death and hospitalization data during BA1 and BA2? So we would have Paul with us on this Thursday. Paul, is this something we can prepare for this Thursday or maybe next Thursday? Whatever is easy, but MGW sure will do it. Now, the question I have for the KoolBeens, before I show you my Substack as well, who would like to join me? How should we do that process? So this is a question for everyone. Should we use more Discord? What I feel is not everyone can use Discord or is willing to use Discord. If that is the case, then what is the alternative? But I would like to have a process where we can make a list of those KoolBeens who want to join us here, join me, and we have a chit chat. We just have a discussion together with the whole forum here. So how do we operationalize that? That is the question. So please tell me if you are a uber awesome project manager and you know how to put these kind of processes in play, let me know. So that is one. Now let me show you. I don't know if I can keep it up. I actually need a team member to do this. So this is KoolBeens Cafe, the Substack. And let me actually get you my Substacks. Maybe if I get you this link, actually in the description of the video, there is a link to the Substack. Here is a link to this particular Cliff Notes. So if you see here, this is the video. I just updated it. Here is the video we just did. And here are this is the summary notes. So it is the same thing as was in the video. And I just wrote, I usually create summaries for myself when I'm preparing. So I just kind of polished it a little bit and put that over here. And then here are the references. And Anne, who's part of our Dr. Bean team for writing, she just told me that these are not live links. So I would work on this evening to make them live links. And there are already 8 likes. So excellent. I would hope if I can continue to do this for videos, have the Cliff Notes. So this is done. Alquin says, Discord has a pretty good turtle, but other than that, it is a crabs. Thank you. I actually started reading it quite seriously to say, okay, Alquin has a process suggestion. Paul Borg says, yes, I will try to include this for this week. Thank you very much. Jim Bean is here. Robin is here. I love all the little gardens, big gardens, flowers. Very good. Cynthia's here. Hello. Alexander. Hello. Kathleen. Nipa is here. Texas is here. Svetlana. KB Usenitz. Doug. MGW. This is our own cafe. We can do whatever we want over here. Algebra Bean. Not everything we want over here because there is a censor looking at us. Kelly is here. Okay to Let Go is here. Bay Area is here. Adi is here. Sigrid is here. Doug Gross is here. I should have done laundry and taken out the trash. Okay, fair enough. Parth, is it the trash day? Parth is here. Critical Thought is here. Meanwhile in America is here. Alicia, Fish Labs, Michelle, DDS, and many more. Okay, good. So tell me this: should we also, as I used to do a few months ago, to say, not used to, I used to meaning it was not regular. I tried it a few times. Remember, I used to say that please post your comments on Twitter or on YouTube. Do you think I should do this, that I should ask for the questions for this discussion beforehand, or do you like this structure where we are just free floating and just talking whatever? I'm okay either way. Svetlana, thank you very much. And thank you for the super chat. Betsy says, I may be too shy, but love your programs. Thank you very much, Betsy. Skyfrog is here as well. Why can't drink caffeine this late? We Okay, so Skyfrog, I want to tell you something. If I don't take coffee late, although not this late, but usually before this lecture, I take a coffee, then I cannot sleep well if I don't take coffee. So I always joke, and this may actually be correct, that my brain cells are so lazy that they don't even know when to sleep. So I have to feed them coffee so they can wake up to understand, oh, time to sleep. So Melamorph says, I read the notes on Substack too. So how are they? This is my first time an attempt to write. The other bigger articles are actually written by professional journalism folks. Somehow my computer's always sometimes just did you know that it just turned off and on again, the monitors? So anyways, it looks like we are still here. So what do you think? Collect the questions before and then discuss them here, collect them here and discuss them to my best ability, or a third way? My hope is, my vision is to make this 1 hour or half hour or this session be here forever. And so forever meaning as long as I live. And we just have this discussion every day, some medical discussions, some health discussions. So we just become these friends who huddle here every day, and we do this program every day. So what should be the outcome of this? I want to make it general health related topics. Bob Chanel says, I don't know. I mostly listen. What you're doing now is fine with me. Excellent. El Jabra Bean says, we are free floating free thinkers. Okay, excellent. I'm okay with that. Collect here. Yes. Alexander says, do Dr. Bean drink coffee made from Colombian coffee beans? So I take Pike Place from Starbucks. Although you know that since I had COVID, I haven't liked that coffee anymore. So it looks like some level of olfactory change has occurred. Although my sense of smell is fine, but I feel, for example, I don't want to take Pike Place anymore. And I've been drinking Pike Place for decade or whenever since I remember. Kelly says the very best thing that happened since I had little Om is that my husband brings me coffee in bed every morning. That's nice. Bambi says trash day for me Thursday morning, 5 hours. So our trash day is also Thursday. So it is, today is what, Tuesday. So Wednesday, day after. ST has just diagnosed me. Actually, possible adrenal failure, Dr. Bean. Just kidding. Well, if it was adrenal failure, there will be so many other problems. I won't even be able to sit down here and speak with you until I was managed. Dr. Z says, no caffeine so close to bedtime. So, Dr. Z, if I don't take caffeine, so I take 1 cup or shot or whatever it is in the morning. And that is about 6 o'clock. I'm usually one of the earliest. Our Starbucks open at 6 o'clock. So I'm usually there near that time. Sometimes I'm waiting outside. Then I have one more near 12 or 1. If I don't take the second one, I don't sleep well. But if I take the second one, then I sleep well. My brain wakes up to say, okay, I should sleep. Okay to let go say, is there a way to have the YouTube page format differently so the live chat isn't as so narrow? I don't know. Maybe that would be something to do on your own mobile or your desktop to try it. I'm sure that there is some way of having live chat under and then full width. I saw a question here a few minutes ago. Vanilla Bean says, anyone see me or am I invisible again? Well, I don't see you. I see your message. Dan says, I'm lurking. Okay, good. Lurk away. Meeple art. Love the cliff notes. Thank you very much. I saw a question. My apologies. It just passed by. Here is a question. So Texas says, with diabetes insulin dysregulation, common enough with COVID, is there a path to recovery for such besides really watching carbs? So majority of the cases, there is inflammation and stress related diabetes, which the patient recovers from in a few months. Now, if there is damage to the pancreas, then it is possible that recovery will not occur. So that would become the long COVID or sequelae. Okay to let go says, thank you. I once saw it below the screen, so I'll do homework. Sorry to bother you with that. No worries. I think it's just how the orientation of the mobile phone or computer is. Johnson says, turn your phone. I think you have to probably set up the, that lock, orientation lock. You have to take that off and then turn the phone, and then it would probably show it under. Dr. Z, that's still early. I thought you were having it before these talks. So, okay. Full truth. Today I had my second glass at, I think, 2 or 3, but usually about 12 or 1. Thank you. Lady Tao says, when I was on chemotherapy, everything tasted like cardboard because your olfactory system and the taste buds were not working correctly. Michelle says, I love trash day. Mine was already out by 5 p.m. for tomorrow. I think the only way you would love it is that then the remaining house is clean, the trash is gone. KB Usenet says, did you know that Aswan tea is a calcium channel blocker? I did not know that. And by the way, I love, if it is Egyptian Aswan, I love the city of Aswan. Okay, so here is Svetlana's question. From talk about diabetes, what was the best strategy to rebuild pancreas cells that produce insulin if damaged after COVID? Anybody remember? Like metformin would not work if insulin is low. So there is no way to rebuild those cells other than those stem cell type new researches. So if the cells are gone, they're gone. But many times there is just local inflammation and dysregulation, and those cells would recover from that inflammatory state and start working again. Sometimes cells are gone, but the body's need puts a pressure on the pancreas and the remaining cells work more, but then they burn out faster as well. So Melamorph says, You could do both. Have a topic and some questions already, then we'll probably have more questions come up as we talk. Okay. Alicia says, fascinating that taste buds change. Yeah. So my coffee is the one that I have become not very fond of. Before COVID, I used to love coffee, but since COVID, this specific coffee flavor, I don't like it. So every time I take it now, I think about I should try other flavors. Kelly says I'm drinking Pike's Peak coffee too. Just started. Trillium Lane says I wish East Coast were not 3 hours later than West Coast. Yeah. Kathleen says anything you think is fine with me. Okay, thank you. Robin says you need a good Italian roast. The coffee roast, right? Not me roast. I'm just kidding. Linda says I've been listening for months, but now joining in the chat. Thank you very much, Linda. This is a place actually to draw and talk and chat and have fun. Kathleen says, do Sumatra coffee. Is that at Starbucks as well? Skyfrog is also saying Sumatra coffee. So let's see what is Sumatra coffee. Where can I get it? If I go here, I'm going to close the Substack and go here. Sumatra coffee. Oh, so I have a coffee machine at home. So this is something I can probably get it at home. And Starbucks also has it, right? Here. Okay. So I'm going to try it tomorrow. Or maybe I'll go after this lecture if Dr. Z does not catch me. John Snyder, thank you very much. Elquin says Starbucks equals they're equal shit. Okay, so I should go to Pete's Coffee then. So will there be a happy dance when Novavax is finally approved? Yes, but did you see that Novavax is still having trouble? They're not able to produce and send as much. I tweeted that today. Novavax. So this is a March news, but we know that they are hoping that this month they'll get an approval. And I believe, was it 16 June when they were supposed to, not this month, but June? We'll see. Will we still need vaccines by 16 June? Will they be hoping that everyone gets a vaccine as a regular case every year? I think they would also be hoping that there are going to be some people who still haven't gotten other vaccines and they would like to have Novavax. Adi says, I love Allegro Italian roast, organic and fair trade, easily found at Whole Foods. Okay. So I have to write this down. Saraswati says, coffee, culata, KoolBeens. Okay. Kelly says, okay, so when I make Starbucks at home, I don't like it at all. And then the Starbucks at Starbucks is also now falling off of my taste bud preference. So John Snyder says, I predict 5 million doses of Novavax optimistically. And John, you know that they were predicting Novavax that they will sell $4 to $5 billion worth of products, including lots of Novavax. So let me actually go to my Twitter and see my. Um, I had tweeted that a few minutes ago here. So if I go here, Novavax 2022, COVID vaccine deliveries off to a slow start, shares drop. So Novavax Inc. on Monday revealed a sharp drop in first quarter COVID-19 research funding and said it shipped less than a fourth of the total vaccine deliveries, less than a fourth slated for 2020. Well, if it is less than a fourth and that is one quarter, then it kind of is okay. Dragging shares of the company down 16%. It sold 31 million doses of the vaccine in the quarter, a small fraction of the 2 billion shots it plans to send around the world in 2022. So that they are really different. 2 billion versus 31 million. Still, Novavax reiterated its forecast for total revenue of 4 billion to 5 billion for 2022, saying it expects shipments to key markets and sales to increase in the second quarter. So that's Novavax for us. So Barbara says Starbucks coffee requires lots of cream. I do not use cream at all. I take black. 5 million in the US. So SK asked me, will you take the Omicron booster later this year? So I responded to that yesterday as well, that I don't need to. I don't think I need to. Here is why. I'm going to share and draw as well. Last year, I had Moderna, um, I believe May 2021 was the first shot. And then whatever weeks afterwards was a second shot. Then in 2022, about a month ago, right? A month or 2 months ago. So let's say this is what, May. So April, March, let's say March. I think March. March is when I had the COVID, correct? Now, vaccine efficacy drops down. So let's say this is 14 days after, then 4 months later. So this was, let's say between them was 1 month. So May, June. So June, July, August, September, October. October was the end of efficacy, at least from the end, the standard narrative out there to say the vaccine efficacy wanes after this. And with the Omicron, it wanes even faster, but let's do that. So then, after this time, till March, how many months? October, November, December, 2 months, and then March, 3 months. So 5 months later, I got COVID, correct? The point I'm making is this was a time when vaccine efficacy had waned. Again, you can challenge me that why am I saying this because I don't believe this? But this is the narrative, right? Which then asks them to say, go get a booster because your efficacy has waned. Fine. My efficacy had waned in October. In March, I got COVID, and you know that I kept doing my lectures as well. And yes, I had COVID, but I did my lectures too. Then I had COVID again, I believe. At least I believe I had it again. And I got this cough that I still have, although really, really reduced after my wife gave me those ajwain's tea. The point is, my body was not ready according to the narrative, and COVID came in, and I was okay. So if that was the case, why would I want to have one more booster? Unless by that time, God forbid, I develop some sort of a cancer where I am immunosuppressed, or I have the cancer of some bones, bone marrow, or immune system cells that my immune system is not working correctly, or immune system becomes disrupted for other reason. Maybe I develop diabetes of some sort and so on. Or the Omicron changes significantly from here to here, that the previous antibodies cannot handle it. But then I would suggest that even over here, previous antibodies were not handling it according to the mainstream narrative. Then over here, if I could handle here without any help, then I can handle here as well. So the um, do I believe that the vaccine, so now not mainstream, but my general immunology knowledge, do I believe that my body was ready here as well because I had the vaccine and my body knew what to do? Yes. And would it do that over here too? Yes. And would it do that after a year too? Yes. So either the variant becomes too different and it's a new variant, and then I have to think once more, do I need a new vaccine? Otherwise, I had Omicron. So my body has the biggest booster, that is the Omicron, number one. Number two, my body has just proven that it can handle Omicron. Why do I need to go get booster for? What would that booster do? Teach me how to handle Omicron, which I just handle it. So unless there is drastic change in the variant and it's not called Omicron anymore, or there is a drastic change in my status of my health, there is no need, at least for me. So Janet says, I think sometimes, like with pain, the brain can continue with sensations even when the cause is gone. Maybe some with cough. Same with cough. If dry, try chewing black peppercorns. So generally, I'm okay. So, but thank you. Barbara says between Mrs. Bean's tea and Luffy's favorite fix, that makes sense. Yes. So her tea kind of stopped. This is what I'm a big fan of. And that is, if somebody is stuck in a cycle of inflammation, they should do something to break that cycle for once and allow the immune system to settle down. Breaking the inflammatory cycle is also important to reduce the damage in the body, because sometimes inflammation causes permanent damage by destroying tissue cells, for example, by destroying beta cells of the pancreas. They're not going to come back even when the inflammation stops. So, my wife broke my inflammatory cycle, and then since then, I've recovered. So John Snyder says Omicron, not a vaccine, produces a narrow immunity and not very durable, does not neutralize BA1, 2. So that's the point. I was able to handle new Omicron, correct? So if there is more Omicron, I can handle that too. It's the immune system that was able to. Fortunately, I did not develop severe COVID. Because I did not develop severe COVID, it's not necessary that I'm banking on Omicron's protection. I'm I feel that my immune system is able to handle it. Who knows? The newer variants are such that they escape my whole immune system and kill me. I'm not um, claiming that COVID cannot protect me, sorry, not kill me. But what I'm saying is my body handled it once. My biggest scare was, would it cause severe COVID? It did not. So we'll see the next time as well. And just like Omicron is not a good vaccine, the which I would really doubt that Omicron cannot produce uh, enough immunity that the future infections cannot be handled. That would really be counter to the immune mechanisms. But even so, then even the vaccine is going to do similar things. And I'm not yet ready to say every variant should have a vaccine. And I keep saying, unless I become eligible for it because of changes in me. So John Snyder says, look at SA numbers. So John, if you are implying that if I had the infection and the next time I'll have the infection which will kill me, then that is a debatable question. Yep. So here are the South Africa's numbers. They are up and going up. Now, if I go to their hospitalizations and deaths, yeah, so these deaths are not following the pattern with the other waves. So as long as there is a decoupling, so what? If the case is there, the only problem with the case is long COVID, just like I developed the cough and I kept having it for some time. So we'll see. John Snyder says straight up, but John, we have to still see here is the hospitalizations or deaths. So I'm not convinced that Omicron is just now becoming another wave, and then we'll have another Delta happening or another set of deaths happening. So Duck says tiny duck mouse. Yeah. So what happened was because of this new setup, the the voice controlling softwares and this it needs to be reconfigured. So I had configured it in a way that these clicks were not audible. So there is a voice gate. I had applied that gate threshold a little higher. So I need to redo it. It will go away. Tiny duck. So Johnson says it's slow to report deaths and hospitalization. So let me just ask you this simple question. Are you saying that SA is experiencing a delta wave again or delta-like wave again? Texas says no tiny mouse. So there are many countries. So look, if I go to our world in data, coronavirus, and we go here and we go to countries, data explorer. This is where we are at this time, correct? Or let's go to, instead of this, what was the other one? There was our world in data, international COVID stats, WHO, which I really do not like their stats. Worldometer, yes. So they had put so much ads that I just stopped seeing them. I even forgot their name. Okay, so let's see. If you see here, we can now claim that these are all not reported correctly, but still we have the cases going down. So maybe we will get them back up, but at least we should acknowledge that Omicron like things started in December, November, December. And so here we are 5-6 months later. We'll see. Similarly, number of deaths are down as well. And the reason is very simple. On one end, there is the virus. On the other end, there is us. And we have also changed, not just the virus. So Dana says, I was thinking South Africa has new variants and I'm wondering what they are seeing regarding symptoms. I keep hoping it will get less severe. So we can actually probably request our friend from South Africa to join us again. So let's see if we go to coronavirus, South Africa. So this is John Hopkins. I want to go to South Africa. So here, So this is South African government. The national state of disaster has been lifted as from 5 April. So if they were back to the disastrous state, I would have hoped they would put it back up. Adjusted alert level 1 was in place on 1 October. So now can I latest health data? 12 April. Come on, they used to have a very good dashboard. Let's go to this one. Visual dashboard. I think this is John Hopkins dashboard by ArcGIS. Okay, so while it appears, Elquin says US hospitalization is less than 10% of the peak. Yeah. This thing is just taking too much time. I'm going to do it again. Too slow. Let me close some of these. Our world in data, South Africa. So they are going up and they are becoming a little. I need to see some more data. So let's see United Kingdom. And I actually don't believe in cases anymore. So here we are. So we could claim, I mean, if we wanted to say, well, we're in trouble again, we could say, well, they're going to get it. Look, this new little thing. And once the new variants come in and attack, we'll see. So that may be possible. Then confirmed deaths. So still going up, but not as it was before. So let's see. It's at least it does not look like as we had before. And the reason is not just the virus, it's us as well. We have changed too. So I would like to just wish this that my immune system does not change. The Omicron, the variant doesn't change so much that it's all new and I cannot handle it. I wish I can handle it. I wish we all can handle it and we're just done with it. So Vanilla Bean says, how about having Sean back on? I wonder how he's doing. So I hope he'll be okay if I share with you and I'll invite him as well. So Sean and I had, we continue to have this discussion. So a few days ago, I asked him, hope you're doing better. He said things are improving, things improved. Neuropathies, arrhythmias, fatigue, brain fog improved. Tinnitus is tragically very bad. The December 21st dose of Hizentra somehow flared that inflammatory pathway, and I have not recovered since. It's now 4 months, so I doubt that will resolve. Sadly, it's brutal. And then someone had actually sent a note saying, please convey our prayers to Sean. So I shared that with him. Then he So I don't know if you know that he has a publication in BMJ. So let's see if I can bring it over. His publication was um, Is the US compensation scheme for vaccine injuries fit for purpose? BBMJ. So I believe, is the US scheme fit for purpose? I think he had, so he said, I drafted this rapid response and it was published today. So there is some response here as well. And this is Michelle too. And so, Michelle, I am hoping at some point I can interview her as well. I'm in contact with her too. She is severely injured too. So, let me just share this article. If you get a chance, read it. Okay, so what else is happening? Tell me some good thing. So M. Gregory says, I wonder if most people's immune system got healthier during pandemic. I think many people's immune system became better because they became aware of how to make it better. At the same time, we also deteriorated too because the stress causes deterioration, financial pressures, um, the fights. When I look at my 2 years, the only thing that bothers me is people's complaints and the business attacks and loss of revenue and finances and those. And so that was my stress. So everybody had their own kind of stresses. So then the disease itself, then the disease-based damage, then the immune systems um, becoming less exposed to regular activities, and so becoming a little naive immune system, and so that can also be a problem. So there are goods and bads, but I think the one that I love the most is we all became very aware of how science works, what are the studies, good studies, bad studies. You can get a study of any kind. Then the value of the studies and the healthcare leadership using whatever study or whatever their own conjectures to do whatever decisions. But if the others bring in studies, they can just dismiss them. So there's a lot of maturity in understanding of what is happening. And hopefully that would then spill into decision making and corrections. So, lot of good came and lots of damage. Roller Girl says, Dr. Bean and I just got home. Welcome. So, I wonder whether it works as well as LDN. LDN is good. So, Vanilla Bean, I would actually let me request Sean right now, if he can. Okay. So, I asked him this question and I would update us. Um, Alicia says, is Sean the mountain biker? I do not know. That's a good question. Keeney says, my husband had 6 blood transfusions for their heart surgery last December. He isn't vaccinated. Can he have spike protein circulating if the donors were vaccinated? Sure. The question is, are I thought that uh, there is a care that whoever is vaccinated, they're not taking their blood. But if they are vaccinated, the question is, are there going to be significant amount of spike proteins in the blood? I don't think that is the truth. And secondly, if these are there, our receiver's body would attack these antigens and destroy them. There is no continuous production of spike proteins. So I won't worry, and I can probably ask you that I think he would not have had any such symptoms. Cheryl says, thanks for the information. You're very welcome. Parth says, how to study preventive medicine. It's so boring and volatile subject. So I never loved community medicine either. But I think this 2 years have taught us a lot of community medicine and how to take interest in it. Otherwise, I'm not a fan of community, although it is a very important part, but I'm not a fan of it. So I cannot tell you the right way. John says, will you be going over the study mentioned last week that claim Omicron severity being similar to previous variants? So actually, I was looking at that. I have two more topics. One was this topic, and the other one was blood groups and the protection from COVID. So I was actually looking for this one, and I could not find the link. So yes, I'll go over it because I'm curious as well. And please remember that for everything nowadays, forever as well, there is a clinical outcome and then there is a mechanistic outcome. So sometimes the mechanisms can scare us, but then we have to look at the clinical picture as well. For example, as scared as we could be with Omicron being more dangerous, I go out every day for coffee and for I just roam around, and people there are no masks. There are sitting together in Starbucks. They're talking. They're having fun. Um, so at least if the virus was dangerous and it is still dangerous, the same way as before, then at least people are not caring anymore. And so we'll see. The CDC, I think, CDC lost a lot of credibility. Critical Thought says, I was wrong. The mountain biker is Kyle Warner. Got it. Got it. Correct. They're learning to develop immunity. Yeah, they are developing immunity. Correct. So the acute hepatitis in children is concerning, whatever the cause. Correct. And that is another topic where I wanted to do some deeper dive because there are just so many people with strange theories. And again, which one are correct or which one are not? But there are so many theories. Linda says, after Moderna booster, I developed eczema 2 weeks later, which I had never had before, but mother had it. Could this be failure to clear spike protein causing this? It is just inflammatory system that got triggered. Now, did that unmask some mast cell like problems? That is possible. So I'll hope that as you manage it and observe it, hopefully it would go away. But in many people, the issues are becoming more permanent as well or more longer lasting. John Snyder says that CDC is looking at dogs as a cause of hepatitis now. Yeah, so they were let's see. Um, Doug says, a merry heart do us good like a medicine. Being happy and joyful actually reducing our cortisol and norepinephrine. Actually, so yes, our body is usually in two states, in a balance of the two states, sympathetic and parasympathetic, or stressful state and a happy state. And they both of those states almost make hormones that are opposite to each other. And so when we are happy, that also give a chance for stress hormones to be less. And when stress hormones are less, we actually physiologically change and our immune system becomes better and better able to defend. Our system is not as exhausted because when you are stressed or I am stressed, we are in a state of continuous panic and our body is in a higher tone. Our glucose is continuously being used up. Our stress hormones are being released. So the whole physiology is changed, and that puts us at risk if it is continuous. That is why there are things like stress diabetes. So um, we are learning to be happy as well during these times because stresses are only increasing our issues. So which foods are reducing will reduce cortisol level? I think more than the food, it is the body state, mind state. It's a stress hormone. So less stress, light yoga, or whatever makes you happy. For example, painting makes me happy, or going out in the mountains and sitting down there makes me happy. So that is my way of relaxing. Everyone has their own. In my younger times, I used to like music and that would make me happy. Then I used to like exercising and that. So I think it changes, but whatever is your current way of becoming happy, that would help. Barbara, I just looked at your comment. I'm not going to put it on the screen. So Michael says, "Hi doctor, been away for a while. You look well, thank you. Lost weight? No, I didn't lose weight. This new camera lens, this is a wide angle lens. So my other camera, I had some issue with it. I went for repair. Then I brought this lens. I put this one on, and so this is a wide angle lens. Usually, this is I think f stop is 4, and the minimum um, millimeters are 35. So it is a wide angle lens, and I zoomed it in, but still it's a wide angle lens. So it makes the subject a little different. Um, but no, I didn't lose weight. Now, for the China, I think they are just, this is my conjecture. I have no idea. China does not let on lots of information. Sometimes I feel strange that here we sit down and we beat CDCs and FDAs and Pfizer's and others, but we still get lots of data, and then we use that data to criticize them. We don't get data from China, so there is no idea to really formulate an opinion that may be grounded in some sort of a fact other than saying they're trying to have zero COVID. And we know that zero COVID is a problem, not really possible. Eventually, everybody is going to get COVID. Is it that they're scared that they are 1.4 billion and if it gets out of hand, their healthcare system will be in stress? I don't know. This is a, I wish more data and more what they're thinking was available, just like we do here in the US. Elizabeth says, drawing eyeballs now make me happy. Thank you very much. I make eyeballs everywhere. I did eventually lose that audit and that caused lots of damage, but still I make eyeballs. Diane says, is ivermectin still beneficial to new variants? Diane, I'm not going to answer that over here. It's a good question. So, just for history, YouTube took down 56 videos because they were upset. And they gave me one community strike and gave me one permanent community strike and a warning. So this is their platform. Fine. There are certain things they don't want me to talk, and so I don't. So yes, yes. So John says CDC knew vaccinated people were being hospitalized in January without boosting, but chose to. CDC is they were fighting the ivermectin fight. I cannot imagine how they operated. Okay to let go says no. You lost the eyeball or it yes. So half or about half of my business was lost, but um, I have never given up. I started from a very humble beginning. And so if from there I could come here, then so what, that half business was lost. I'll make it again. I'll make it bigger this time. Helene B says Dr. B needed to get a wide angle lens to fit us all in. Yes, this is a good lens. Although the only thing I do not have prime lenses. These are zoom lenses. Someday I want to try a prime lens as well. So Doug says, I hope they're on Rumble and Odyssey. Those videos that were brought down before I transferred them, they are not. Those that were brought down afterwards, they are there. Although I just canceled Rumble today, I sent them the request because I just cannot manage some folks over there who just keep spamming, and there is no way to clear out the spams other than going and manually deleting the comments. And these are just spams, meaning not that they're there and cursing or saying things. They're just spamming, and there is no way to clear it. So I had a paid subscription for live chats. So I sent them a message today to say, please cancel my live chats. I also removed the synchronization with Rumble. So any new videos, for example, today's video will not go to Rumble. So it is only Odyssey and YouTube now. I wanted to be on Rumble, but Rumble is quite not the most fair place in terms of managing a clean house. Igor says, look at what you're doing as God's work, Doc. You're amazing. Thank you very much. Skyfrog says, I'm not afraid of heights, but I'm afraid of widths. Go, fair enough. Don't you go to height in the plane and then you traverse the widths? Linda says that the situation in Shanghai is so scary. So John says, sorry to hear that from Rumble. No worries. I tried it. I tried to reach out. One area where they actually became okay was there were people who were stealing my videos and playing them. So I reached out to them and they actually removed them. They just did not communicate that we removed them or didn't remove. They just removed them and didn't respond to me at all. I kept asking any update. And so that was still okay that they removed them. However, I think that this is by design, that they want free expression. And so for that, it seems like they don't want to allow a, any spams or anything to be monitored. And that's fine. That is the way their channel or their platform wants to be, and that is totally fine. It just doesn't work because I keep seeing under my videos there are weird comments, spams, links, and so I just decided it's not my cup of tea. Okay to let go says, have you investigated locals? I believe I am on locals. The only thing is, I had heard that locals, was that a paid one? I wanted to keep it as free as I could, but I'll see it again. As much as at the end of every video I say, please support this work and here is how, I am generally a little shy of pushing people to say you can only see this content if you are paying. Thank you, meanwhile, in America. Hey, Helene B says, I'm sorry you had so much trouble with Rumble. Is it the same meaning? This is a new one. So every platform has their own trolls. Yeah, John says it's a shame because Rumble works great with locals and that would have been great for you in the long run. Agreed. That's what I thought as well. Odyssey and Rumble, I thought I'll just go there, but not ready yet. Helene says you should be able to keep your video regardless if they take it down. Take down the other video. So my videos are still also, if YouTube takes down a video because they call it a violation of community, they actually confiscate the video. You cannot download it anymore. You cannot do anything to it anymore. It's just gone. So I used to make copies of my videos that had medical concepts, not the chit chats. And so some of those videos are with me. But because my drbean.com site also got complaint about, and the auditors here were just even more idiotic, and they simply said, well, you say the monocytes are in 3 states of classical, non-classical, and intermediate. We haven't heard of that. So how dare you say that? So it's actually funny. Let me show you something. It was actually amazing for me to see that they did that. If you say here, monocyte, classical versus non-classical, you can actually see them. Here, look, nature.com. Non-classical monocyte display inflammatory features. And so monocytes, in the frontiers, there is a journal.physiology, non-classical monocytes in cardiovascular physiology. So you can see them everywhere, correct? Their auditors, they said, we were a group of 6 auditors who looked at your videos and you said there are non-classical monocytes. That is misinformation. And I said, you guys could not even Google. But that is the point, that they didn't care. They wanted to create some sort of an objection. And there is no recourse to say your objection is wrong. We made an objection. And so that's where we are at. And because these are all private platforms, although Dr. Bean's platform is my private, but they were a company that were my partner, so they could do it. And they stopped me from putting COVID videos there. Skyfrog says non-classical journalist. So Skyfrog, these folks had just such clownish, real clownish objections that if you are just going to look at those objections, you would start laughing to say you guys are some medical students or even before the medical students. But they were serious. They said we are six doctors who did the audit and here are the objections. And the one main objection was I said there are non-classical monocytes. um, Robin, Dr. Bean, please read his SMS. Whose SMS? Oh, so Robin says, I'll try my best. I did send some info to him about how to protect things in Rumble, but he doesn't really read his. Yes, I don't read. Did you send them on Discord? I am so absent on Discord all the time. So this is very interesting. Okay to Let Go says, I stream a channel there. Where is this locals? When there is a live stream, if one wants to join the chat, one is asked to pay one credit card. The stream find interesting is worth $1. Actually, you know that even YouTube has this, that you can add a paid feature that you can only ask a question or interact in chat if you pay. But I had started this all thinking this is a need at this time, and I would not ask people, I will not compel them to pay. Nicolene says, did you get the doctor's names or are they ghost audit? They are ghost auditors. Interesting thing is this. It is like this. If I say to you, I audited your work and it is wrong. You said this. And you come back and you say, but I didn't say that. Or what you are objecting is incorrect. I say, well, that is an appeal and I reject your appeal as well. This is exactly what happened. That when I objected and I said, what the fuck are you talking about? This is wrong. They said, well, we'll take that as an appeal. And we looked at your appeal and we rejected that as well. That was the funniest clownish things I saw in my career. Vanilla Bean says, any published studies on IVC? A Dr. Andrew Weber, pulmonologist, Long Island, was using it. So Dr. Paul Marek is huge on that. Then Dr. Keith Berkowitz from FLCCC, and I have done some interviews with him as well. He is big on IVC as well. John says, look at Robin's. So Robin, I would, if it is Discord, I would look at that and I would respond. So Rondon, they should be punished for wrong fact checking. Actually, the private companies cannot be, if they, I mean, they could have simply said, we're not going to work with you. They tried to make up a reason. It is actually funny. They were such cowards that when they started the audit, because of some biatch on the Twitter complained to them, when they started the audit, they sent me the letter saying, you said monocytes are not classical and classical. And so our system, Dr. Bean's system is, because we tell the reader, the viewer, what have they studied and how much they have studied, we keep a record of what videos they watched and where did they watch, how many minutes they watched, so that we can update their dashboard. So these auditors had only watched one video 20 times, and that was ivermectin. But they were so covered that they did not actually even name ivermectin that, hey, we have a problem with you talking about ivermectin. Instead, they said, hey, you talked about classical and non-classical monocytes. So they were cowards. And what I've seen is that somebody who's a coward is usually um, less honest as well. So, anyways, they could do it. They were a private company. They could have simply said, not working with you, and I couldn't do anything about that. They at least tried to make up a reason. It's just that that reason was very clownish. So, with this, how about we break for tonight? So, here it says that you should state your credentials. Okay, will do. John says use the megaphone effect. Where is that effect? Okay, I'm gonna try. This is this the megaphone effect now? Am I in megaphone? I have to try it separately. Okay. Happy melatonin dreams to you as well, Skyfrog. And with this, thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, and share. And if you would like to support this work, buying Dr. Bean is the best thing. You can become a Substack member or Patreon or use PayPal or buy me a coffee, whichever way you like. And thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.